My name is Ryan Leese. I'm a senior here at Hardin-Simmons and I play basketball.
My name is Rebecca Hayes. I'm a junior at Hardin-Simmons and I play volleyball.
My name is Maverick Harris. I'm a senior at Hardin-Simmons and I play basketball.
What we want to get out of this project is to show non-student athletes just how much of a time commitment this is, and hopefully they get a more of appreciation because of it.
Playing a college sport can have a lot of long-term benefits, and employers take this time commitment into consideration when picking future employees.
One of the purposes of this project was to show how difficult it is to manage sports, school, social life, and a job.
So when you break it down by each sport and by men's and women's sports, this is showing what percent of high school athletes will play in college. And there's over 400,000 NCAA athletes, which seems like a lot until you look at the percentages. 90% and up are not making it out of high school. But this really shows you just how elite it is to make it out of high school. These are just some quotes from prior student athletes. The third one is from Richard Sherman. He plays for the Seattle Seahawks. He just talks about the appreciation that would be built if a regular student had to be in a student athlete schedule just for one semester, just to see how stressful it is and how hard it is to balance everything and the huge time commitment that is sports. So this kind of breaks down what the time commitment is like for NCAA athletes. On average, they're going to spend 33 hours a week on sports. And this can get up to 40 or 60 hours depending on how heavy your game schedule is that week. So if you add these together, this is basically 2 full-time jobs. Then at the bottom we have a quote from Julian McWilliams. It just kind of lists his schedule for the day. And as you can see, he has little to no time in between everything. He's kind of running from one thing to the next and then getting to bed at 12:31 in the morning after getting his homework done.
But don't take our word for it. Here's some current athletes to give you a better perspective on what being a student athlete truly is like.
Hey guys, I'm Ty Hooper. I'm a junior here at Hardin-Simmons on the football team, play quarterback.
My name is Joe Hope. I'm a junior here at Hardin-Simmons University, play basketball.
Hi, I'm Michaela Cybersula. I'm on the soccer team.
My name's Luke Smith. I'm a junior here at Hardin-Simmons. I am a business major and I play golf.
The hardest part about being a collegiate student athlete is making sure that you keep the student part first. It's easy to get caught up in the football stuff and your funds and everything like that. And it's a juggling act to try to balance the classroom work, workouts, film, practice, meetings, a social life with your friends.
It's probably managing your time. A lot of people think, we just go to practice and maybe workouts or whatever. But I mean, we're taking the same hours as, regular students. We're juggling our time with, you gotta go to practice, you gotta go to weights. Now, on top of that, you gotta study on your own time, and then you gotta work out on your own time too.
The hardest part of being a collegiate athlete is balancing school and soccer, because for soccer, we travel a lot.
I would say the hardest part of being a college athlete is juggling school, being able to maintain good grades while maintaining my performance on the golf course.
For me, the biggest jump from high school to college athletics was actually on the academic side. For a lot of guys, high school wasn't hard academically. For me personally, high school was pretty easy in the classroom. I didn't have to study much, and I got to college and realized I need to learn how to do that. So I had to buckle down and teach myself how to study properly so that I could make sure I could stay on top of the classroom stuff, because that's obviously what's most important.
It was definitely a big jump. Here, you're at the bottom. You're starting all over pretty much. Everybody's at the same level, if not even better than you. And it fluctuates from D1, D2 to D3, but it's still at an elite level.
The biggest jump from high school to college would be the level of competition, and for school-wise, it was just the workload.
The workload in college is a lot more than high school. In high school, you're doing a lot of busy work, but all your school in college has a purpose and you have to complete it. And sports-wise, it's pretty tough. That the competition's a lot harder. Everyone's good. If you're playing at the college level, everyone's good. The biggest lesson I've learned playing at this level is you can be talented and still lose. You have to put in a lot of more hard work. Your talent isn't enough.
But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is just that when you get to the point where you don't think you have anything left, you've got to keep pushing through and just keep grinding, because there's always 1 ounce left in the tank, and there's always something extra you can do to try and get better, to give yourself a leg up on the competition.
Biggest lesson I've learned since I got here, I was born and raised in California. I traveled halfway across the United States, and I just learned how to become a man, learn to live on my own, without relying on my parents, without going home, you know, on the weekends or whatever, it's impacted me a lot, and I feel like, you know, I'm on a different level than everybody else just because I'm away from home.
It's very hard to maintain good grades while having a social life, having studies, and playing a sport because each one affects the other. Because if you focus too hard on your sport, then your grades suffer.
For a lot of guys too, they've got to work. A lot of us are busy all day long. Me personally, I wake up, I've got class at 9, class at 11, lift at 2, meetings at 3, sometimes an extra overtime workout, and then I've got class at 6 until 8:50, got homework, got my roommate, my friends, got my girlfriend. So there's a lot of things to try and juggle. It's definitely hard to do.
Just learning how to find your balance between your sports, you know, in the classroom and with your friends. You want to perform great, so you do got to put in that extra work, but also, you know, you got to take time out, you know, every day to hit the books, you know.
It isn't a challenge because just because I'm putting in the normal practice hours till 5 o'clock every day, I still have to put in that extra work to be the best, and that makes I suffer from social life and not being able to spend as much time with my friends as a normal student would be able to. Just not having enough time to study, but I just have to make sure that whenever I am here and not traveling, that I'm staying on top of my studies and going to class.
So for potential employers looking at the current college athletes to hire for a job, I think that they'll see a lot of traits and qualities that they'll really enjoy. Collegiate athletes have a work ethic that a lot of people don't have. Time management skills, work ethic, I think are huge things that college athletes have to work on and attain, and I think that a lot of employers will see that. And I also think that perseverance and just a mental toughness to get through whatever's thrown at them and a willingness to take on whatever the employer needs.
Something other students don't see about student athletes is we have the same amount of homework as them, we have the same amount of stuff we have to do as them, but we're also at practice from right when we get out of class till almost dark.
Because we have games, practices, and we practice 5 times a week, and we have games twice, so it takes a lot of time away from our studying and our classwork.
And also while traveling on the road, we're gone probably 20 to 30 days a semester, so a lot of keeping up with our homework while we are here.
And I think they also think that, oh, they're an athlete, they must not be that smart, or you know, they're getting things handed to them, and that's really not the case. I mean, we've got 21 guys on our board over there that had 4.0s last fall. We put in a lot of time and effort. We're here from sun up to sundown, and you know, then we've got to balance school on top of that, and social lives. We've got to make sure we're eating and maintaining our body, getting the proper nutrition. So we've got to really manage our time well, and it takes a lot. My favorite thing about being a college athlete is just being around my guys. These guys are closer than blood to me.
Building relationships with your teammates, you know, something you build for a lifetime. I probably have, you know, teammates that are gonna be in my wedding, gonna be there when my kids are born. And I'm gonna be the same with them.
My team is like a second family. We have team dinners together, we spend a lot of time together, and we form relationships with one another.
Bonds that I've made with my teammates.
These guys are my brothers. They're guys that are going to be in my wedding and in my life till the day I die.
My least favorite thing isn't even that bad. It's just juggling all the things I have to do.
You know, you've got to make sacrifices. There's a lot of times you miss out on opportunities to go hang out with your boys.
Being away from my family is important to me. They don't really get to watch my games. They probably come one time a year, and I only get to see them that once, you know.
One piece of advice I'd offer to future student athletes would be to make sure that you love your sport and you're fully invested in it, because it takes so much time in college.
Make sure you love the sport that you're coming into.
Learn to study now, and if you can better improve your study skills before you get here, it'll make the jump a lot easier.
Talent is not enough. You know, to be great at the next level, you got to work hard.
Just don't listen to anybody on the outside. They don't know the work that you've put in. So don't ever listen to any negativity. I was told my whole life, you're too small, you'll never make it, and here I am.